What's up guys, it's Apollo Uchiha here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a new movie. The name of this movie is What If Naruto Was Born with the Power of the Sage. And yeah guys, it is an unscripted movie. And before continuing this, shout out to you, shout out to my boy Jimmy Dasit Dice for suggesting this idea. And before continuing this, please, I beg of you guys, please send me in your manga and anime recommendations. I mean, you guys give me the ideas by giving me the name of the protagonist or the fellow that you want me to make, on the powers of What If. But I don't even know most of the things. I'm kind of new into the anime, in the whole field, and yeah, the only thing I know is about Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, and yeah, One Piece, thanks to you, because I only watched 2 or 3 episodes. And not only that, maybe Pokemon and some of the most known around the world animes. And yeah, it will really help me in the future and I'll be grateful. And yeah, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel, and please don't take anything, think anything badly of this. I'm just, trying my best to convey this as, peacefully as possible. I don't want a comment section war going on in the comment section. I mean, I really appreciate your ideas. They are the reason why this channel is still existing and I exist. I mean, you guys watching, and I really am grateful that you like my content and all that, which is created thanks to the help of you guys again. And yeah, I'm grateful for this community. I mean, I know for sure that you guys will help me out here, because I really do, for 2 reasons. 1, I'm bored, and 2, I need, inspiration from the content to continue on with my own ideas as well. Anyways, enough said. Let's begin with our today's movie. The story begins 1 month before the QB attack in Konoha, as we go towards the said village in nighttime, towards the Uzumaki estate, where we see Minato and Kushina inside their living room patiently waiting for someone to arrive. As suddenly there was a knock on the door as Minato went to open it, and there stood in front of him were 2 familiar faces which caused a small smile on his face. They were none other than Hiruzen Sarutobi, the previous Hokage, and Jiraiya of the Sannin, his sensei. It's good to see you, sensei. You as well, Hiruzen-sama. Come inside. As now we see, both of them entered with a smile on their face as Hiruzen jokingly said, "Minato, you could have waited for at least morning. Calling us in the middle of the night in this time, it's quite worrying, at the same time quite annoying." "Yeah, Brad, I was 2 villages away from here. If it wasn't for your letter, I wouldn't have come. I was busy doing my assignment, I know, Sensei, how precious your assignment can be when you're away, but this is something important," said Minato, getting serious. As both of them, seeing his serious face and Kushina's serious face, got serious as well. "What is it? What's bothering you? Is something wrong with the baby or something?" said Jiraiya. "No, everything is fine. It's just Kushina will tell you something that I presume both of you have not known since the day she arrived in Konoha." "What could that be, Kushina?" You see, when I was left alone with Mito-sama, she knew the dangers of the seal that she used on herself, that was going to be implemented on me, what she told everyone, right? I remember. She used the same seal that she used on herself when she sealed the biju in herself. On you, right? When you became the Jinchuriki. No. She had prepared a secret seal that will make sure the QB doesn't break free. And it was a testament seal, and I went along with it because she knew it would work. And I trusted her." "What? Why would she hide this from us, or even from me?" "The reason being that she didn't trusted the council. Seeing Danzo and Homura and Koharu's greedy eyes, she instantly realized that these 3 were the wrong choice for students by Tobirama. And you? As for you, she couldn't tell because you were in a position where if revealing this to you, you would have told them because you trusted them too much at the time." "I know, but still, at least I could have known. I was the Hokage. Or I known her most of my whole life. She could have at least mentioned this to me," said Hiruzen, someone looking hurt because they had some good moments when they interacted with their sensei and his family. "I know, but the thing is that she kept it a secret, and after that, when I became a seal master, I began to observe the seal as she mentioned before passing away." "And What did you notice? Is something wrong with it? No. Actually, the seal is working too fine, said Minato. It seems as if biju itself is being absorbed by Kushina. That is the reason that her chakra is much more stronger than before, and she has more heightened senses. And we think that the fetus is also absorbing the chakra. What? You mean that Kyuubi could possess it? No. That is not the reason. The thing is that Naruto might have much more heightened senses and characteristics of Kyuubi as well while being born. This is the least I could tell from the medical ninjutsu I knew. And this is what we wanted to tell you. I see. So we're going to have a strong baby boy who will be able to use the Biju's chakra as his own. I don't see anything wrong with that, Minato. Even if he has some few features resembling the Biju. I mean, he is going to be your son. Nothing's wrong with that. I mean, who's gonna bother a Kage's child? No one. Especially if that Kage is Yellow Flash. I agree with Jiraiya, even though his analogy is quite weird. I do agree with him. Why are you so worried, and why did you want to tell us this? Now, the thing is that there is something else I wish to tell you that I have been hiding, that I discovered. What would that be? You see, me, Fugaku, and another of the shinobis was in a team, right? Before Sensei took me away and made me his personal student, right? Yeah, I remember. The thing is that at the time Fugaku was injured and he hadn't unlocked his Sharingan, and only an Uchiha can give blood to an Uchiha at the moment when he is injured. And at the heat of the moment, I willingly volunteered. Seeing that no one was around, the medic took blood from me because my blood matched his group. And something interesting happened. His Sharingan unlocked. The medic revealed to me before getting killed that it was impossible. Only an Uchiha can have this reaction when an Uchiha's blood was injected into him. Soon after that, in my own time, even on training trip of ours, Sensei began to research and discovered that we Namikazes are actually originated from Uchihas. A bunch of Uchihas who, well, distanced themselves from the Uchiha clan because of, well, their ways and because of endless wars at the warring era, and began to mingle with other people and formed a new clan called the Namikaze clan. So, wait, said both of them with wide eyes. You have the characteristics to unlock the Sharingan. I may have, but Kushina says because of the Uzumaki genes, it might be possible for Naruto to have it. But we can never be too sure. But I just thought that I should let you all know, because I was not able to unlock mine at the time. This is some heavy news, Minato. I know, and that is why I want you to be aware that if something is to happen and goes wrong while Naruto's birthing process, I will use the Hake Fuyin to seal the Biju away, Naruto. What do you mean by that, Minato? I have been hearing news, Sensei, from some of the shinobis that some of the people are doing recon missions near our borders. I am not sure who they are, but it is not good news. It has already begun since the news got leaked out in the whole village that Kushina is pregnant. And knowing her status as the Jinchuriki, which is aware by most of the village already, I don't like this one bit. I see. We will tighten the security, and Jiraiya will make sure that nobody knows. And even if it does happen, we will be nearby. Yeah, kid, don't worry, I'll be nearby in the village when that time arrives. And there's one more thing, said Kushina. If everything goes wrong, and even that doesn't work, if somehow by miracle we're able to seal away the Biju, Hiruzen-sama, make sure the Tsunade-sama take care of him. What? Why her? Said Hiruzen. She is a Senju and an Uzumaki. She will know. And she and I were close before she left the village. I was her student, and she treated me like a daughter, remember? Of course I remember the bond you two shared. Alright, I'll let her know. I sent her a letter, but no reply came so far. I just hope that she got that letter at least. How much time is it until the birth is due? 1 month, Sensei. I'll go search for her. If I don't return within 20 days, if I don't find anything, I'll return back and be on the standby. How about that, Sensei? In the meanwhile, you tighten the security and make sure Kushina goes out less and less. Alright, let's do that. As now we see, in this way 1 month passed as Jiraiya returned with Tsunade on the 25th day, 5 days before the QB attack. As Kushina, after monitoring everything around Tsunade, after monitoring everything around Kushina, was able to finally give out her diagnosis. Everything is seemingly fine, and as Kushina suggested, the kid is absorbing the chakra of the biju, and the biju is almost like non-existent. What? But I could have sworn that I just 1 month ago there was a huge biju in the mindscape. It seems as if the biju has been absorbed. What the hell is going on here? When the child is born, I need to do some blood tests to see what is going on. Alright, we'll see about that. As unfortunately this news was being heard by someone, and that someone was Zetsu himself who heard this. As now we see him retreating back into the shadows as he emerged in a cave where we see a masked person waiting for him, sitting on a throne. Zetsu, have you found anything useful? Yes, but there is something that you need to know, my lord. What is it? Our plans, they have been altered. It seems the Jinchuriki's fetus has absorbed the biju. This certainly pushes back our plan quite a lot. Is there some way we can still recover the biju from it? Maybe if we throw the fetus inside the Garumazo, we'll be able to get the Nine Tails as it is, because it could be a hybrid between a biju and a human. Could be. I need proof, Zetsu. Our plan, my plan, needs to come to fulfillment. It will, my lord. We will see to it. And you, boy, you better be prepared. As the man coughed, as he came to light in the dark cave, it was none other than the old Madara. I don't have much time left. You need to prepare yourself to face the shadows of the past. I am more than ready, Madara. You don't need to worry about me. Guide him, Zetsu, and make sure my plan comes to fulfillment. As after that we see, within the next 2 days, just before the QB attack, Madara passed away. As carrying out his plan was his grandson, Obito Uchiha, who took the mentality of none other than Madara himself. Installing his Sharingan in his one eye and his own in the other one, he wore a mask of a sort. His half body created with the help of Zetsu, he was now under his guise. We should prepare for departure, Obito. The birth would have begun of the Jinchuriki. Let's go. As now we see, back at Konohagakure, it was October 10th and nighttime. As Kushina was taken to a discreet location outside, as Tsunade alongside with Hiruzen's wife was also there, who were monitoring Kushina's vitals as well as helping her out to go through the pain. As this was going on, Minato was pacing left and right outside as his Anbus were monitoring and patrolling the nearby surrounding areas. But somehow, despite all of this, we see that a scream was heard from within. As we see, both Tsunade and Biwako Sarutobi were on the ground, as they looked alive but in pain. What is going on here, Kushina? That man, she said, pointing towards the shadow. He took Naruto. As a red glowing eye came forward from the shadow, as a masked man emerged. Minato Namikaze. What do you want? I want your child. That is what I want. You bastard. How dare you think that I would allow this? Anbu! Don't bother. I have already taken care of them. Now how was that possible? Zetsu took care of them and knocked them out cold. And some of them, who couldn't be, he killed them. You'll pay for this, you bastard. But sensing something was wrong, we see that a Rasengan sound was heard, as the masked person, in a nick of time, was able to dodge. As now we see Jiraiya emerging, breaking through the wall behind them, and emerging there. Leave my godchild alone, you bastard. As now we see, the masked person disappeared in a vortex, but not before Minato was able to grab the child. But that is when something terrible happened. They have brought backup, and their backup was none other than the Three-Tails Isebu, who they have stolen from Kiri, his Jinchuriki gone mad, destroying most of his village as well, rampaging all the way here. As seeing this, both Kushina, Minato as well as Jiraiya who were there were shocked as Biwako got up alongside Tsunade after depoisoning themselves. I'll go warn Saru and the others. You go and see what you can do. Minato, what are you planning to do? As he looked left and right and then looked towards Naruto. I have to do it. No, Minato. We can't. What do you mean we? Two people can use Hakefuyin to seal a biju. I lied to you. One person doing this won't work. Only two people can. The true Hakefuyin. Damn it. Sensei. It is decided. Me and Kushina will do this. What? What makes you think that I will allow such a thing? We'll find some other way to stop the biju. It's Three-Tails. We can defeat it somehow. We'll see, but we have to do this. As now we see, before anything could happen, the masked person appeared again, or more like his hands. You think I'll allow such a thing to happen? As he grabbed Kushina and Minato and threw them away, pulling them into vortexes of his and disappearing, throwing them to the other sides each. As now we see, that was not the only thing he did. He slapped them with the chakra suppressors as well. As now we see, Jiraiya was left there as he grabbed Naruto in the nick of time. Oh no, this is bad. As now we see Jiraiya also turning back to the village and going towards Hiruzen. As on the other side we see Tsunade and Biwako were already there, informing everyone as Hiruzen was gathering Anbus, Shinobis, as well as Konoichi as the best he could. Sensei, something bad has happened. As after explaining everything what went wrong, we see that Hiruzen sent half of them to go and search for both Kushina and Minato. As now we see, the rest, alongside the clan heads as well as their shinobis, followed suit. As while going there, we see that Inoichi then asked, "Who is that child?" "That doesn't concern you now, Inoichi. What concerns us the most is the thing ahead of us. We have to stop a goddamn biju, even if it is the Three-Tails. We have to stop it. It is a strong biju nonetheless." As now we see, the biju charged a biju dama as most of the Konoha was destroyed from the one side as the biju dama struck it. No! Many of the civilians are gonna lose their lives this way. Some of the shinobis have to be sent to evacuate them. As the clan had sent in most of their shinobis, such as the Uchihas, Hyugas, as well as the rest of them, sent out the shinobis to clear out the village and help those who were struck under the debris, hoping the best that the ones on the front lines were able to stop them. While on the other side, we see that the shinobis located down Kushina, who had a huge stab wound in her chest and was bleeding out. As on the other side, we see that Minato was already dead because he was stabbed by his own Hiroshin kunais in the back. This is bad. Both Minato no Mikaze and Kushina are close to dying. We have to do something. Take them to the hospital room and inform Tsunade-sama to come back as possible. As Tsunade from the front lines were sent back to treat her own daughter and her son-in-law. As now we see, Kushina was still breathing as she looked up with a tired eye. Tsunade-sama, I know I'm not gonna make it. Shut up, Kushina. Let me focus. Listen, you're the only person I can trust. Whatever happens here, I know you'll find a way. Give this to Jiraiya. It won't cause him trouble. It is the same seal as mine. But the difference is that the biju won't be absorbed. I made this just in case if things go south, and we're not here to do anything. Please, Kushina, stop. I can still save you. I know you won't be able to. I already lost too much blood, and healing chakra and blood pills won't do anything. Just make sure you take care of him the same way you did to me. With these words said, Kushina too passed away. As that is when Tsunade noticed something. There was huge chakra suppressors More than 10 chakra suppressors on each of their bodies. No, that bastard, she said in rage, but not before taking the seal as the biju screeched towards Jiraiya. As after arriving to the battlefield, we see both Hiruzen and Jiraiya look towards him with hope. As Tsunade looked down and shook her head from left to right. No. Use this, Jiraiya. Our only hope is to seal the biju away, Naruto. It is a seal that Kushina prepared. It hasn't been tested before. It is a modified version of her seal, and this seal won't absorb the biju within. We have to do it. As now we see, everyone was having trouble, but seeing the trauma that has Naruto gone through, his genes and the Uzumaki heightened senses thanks to the Kyuubi's chakra absorbed, Naruto's eyes opened, not to reveal the blue ones, but instead the Rinnegan. As he unconsciously looked towards the biju who was tormenting others, seeing the hurt and screams, he began to cry, and unconsciously used the Rinnegan Genjutsu breaker path, as he was able to break the biju out of Genjutsu, causing it to look quite confused and as well as look quite shocked at what it has done, as the voice was heard. What have I done? That Genjutsu, that Uchiha. And these were the words heard by the whole village before the biju was sealed into Naruto by none other than Jiraiya himself. As now we see, Hiruzen was the one who noticed what happened, and so was this Tsunade. Jiraiya was busy drawing the seal and looking towards the biju, and hearing this. Sensei, you heard what the biju said? No, I didn't, but you saw Naruto's eyes? Just before Naruto's eyes could close, Jiraiya saw them. As his eyes widened, as his eyes closed shut once more, as Naruto was now fast asleep, as the biju was sealed again. The Rinne. As Jiraiya was stopped by Hiruzen. Don't say it. As now we see, Tsunade picked him up. As everyone cheered the defeat of the biju, Hiruzen ordered, "Listen up! I have some sad news for you. I know you are all celebrating, but still. Minato no Mikaze, the fourth Hokage, and his wife have perished. They couldn't survive the attack. Minato is not that weak. How could he have died?" said Fugaku. Chakra suppressors. More than 10 chakra suppressors were placed on each of their backs, and they were stabbed with their own weapons. At such places where only if allowed blood loss for too long, they would have died, and Minato's was stabbed in the heart straight, and it was caused by a masked person nonetheless. We do not know who this is. We do not blame anyone at the moment now. So I don't want you to play the blame game here. I want you to go and save those who are saved and recover those bodies who have fallen. And later we will hold a grand funeral for all of them. You are all dismissed. As the silence continued for a long time, the celebrations died down. As the civilians who were still under debris were recovered, and those who died and perished were also recovered as well. While this was going on in the village, we go towards Hiruzen's office now, which he had to take again from Minato. Sensei, what are we gonna do? I was already told by Kushina what I need to do, said Tsunade, as both of them looked towards her. Naruto is not safe here. She doesn't trust anyone, not after what happened, and the biju's hatred will continue to grow. I don't understand. From what I have heard, the three-tail is supposed to be the most calmest of the bijus ever. As that is when we see that through the seal, a biju had appeared, and it was the three-tails himself. I apologize for what I have done. I was under a genjutsu of a sort. Last thing I remember, me and my previous Jinchuriki, we were attacked in our office back at Mizugakure. By who? It was a masked person. It had Uchiha eyes, for what I can remember. He casted a genjutsu on him and me. It brought out a huge amount of anger and hatred, which I never felt before. And I was trying my best to get out of that darkness, but something pulled me out of nowhere. and I saw what I did. I know apologizing enough won't bring those who I have killed back, but I need you all to know this. How are you speaking to us? The seal is designed to only hold back the aggressive bijus, and I am not aggressive. At least not now, said the biju, looking guilty. Your name is Isabu, right? Yes. I know what you did was not under your control, and that man has caused enough trouble for us as well. It is not your fault. If what you say is true, then it is the fault of that Uchiha who has done this. I will address this with the council. But can you promise me one thing? What is it? Please watch over this kid, and make sure you can help him if you can. I will. Because this is the least I can do. And for my own village, I have to do something as well. What do you mean by that? When the time is right, I want you to visit my village to inform them what has truly inspired, and I can maybe gain their trust back after what happened. They used to trust me a lot, you know, me and Yagura. I know Yagura. He was a nice, ambitious man. Bad thing happened. And there's one more thing I would like to tell you before I leave. I sense great strength from this child, and my brother's chakra as well, the Nine Tails. As after explaining everything what has happened to the biju was shocked. I see. So it seems that this child has become a first human hybrid biju then. What? A human hybrid biju. You see, our father, the sage of the sixth path, told us that if a biju is completely absorbed by his Shinchuriki, or a human, he will become that biju himself, but in a human form. So my brother is no longer in the existence. That is sad. But it is not this child's fault. Whoever did this, it was cruel, and I may not be able to forgive them, and so may not be my other siblings. But this is not this child's fault. And as for the promise, I will fulfill it. Thank you. As now we see, the biju disappeared, as the three of them were left in shock until there was a knock on the door. Hokage-sama, the council meeting has been gathered, and they need your attendance right now. Jiraiya, follow me. Tsunade, take the child with you, and please take his niece with you as well. His niece? Yes, I know. It is hard for you, but still, this is the least you can do for him. Her parents have perished as well. You mean... Yes, Shizune. Shizune Kato, Dan's niece. I will take care of her as well. As at that night, Tsunade left not only with one young Naruto, but also with 8-year-old Shizune Kato as well, adopting her as well. As soon as she left, we see that Jiraiya and Hiruzen arrived at the council meeting. And the council meeting turned into a warring ground. But Hiruzen and Jiraiya were able to calm them down somehow. But there was one person who was way too fast and quick for them. I would like to ask, who is the Jinchuriki? No one. No one is the Jinchuriki. Minato and his whole family has perished. But Jiraiya-sama, I heard, sealed a biju in a child. That child has perished as well, and so did the biju with it. The seal that was given to me was by Tsunade, and Tsunade brought it directly from Kushina. It was a seal meant to kill the biju. And knowing that her child wouldn't be able to survive in such circumstances, we had no other choice but to use it. It was an unfortunate thing to do, but the Uzumaki and Namikaze bloodline has ended, unfortunately, as there was a moment of heavy silence herself. What about Tsunade? She has left, vowing that she would never set a foot here again. As Hiruzen looked towards Jiraiya with shock as well, because of how heartbreak she had felt. She not only lost her godson, which I did as well, she lost her closest thing to daughter, and let's not forget about her lover, Dan, and her family and brother as well. We all have lost many people, Jiraiya, but that doesn't mean that we will allow such a Konoichi to mop around. She is the goddamn strongest Konoichi in the whole elemental nations, and you want to mess with someone like that. Be my guest, because I will not be helping you and helping her instead. You'll be betraying the village, Jiraiya. Who's gonna stop me? I'm loyal because I want to loyal to this village. That is the only reason I'm loyal to. Not because of you or any one of you here. You hear me? Said Jiraiya with rage-filled eyes, and knowing that he was a legendary Sannin and possibly one of the strongest one as well, nobody spoke, not even Danzo himself. As now we see, Hiruzen then said, regardless of what happened, it was an unfortunate event. We should focus on recovering, not on bickering here. A lot of deaths have occurred, alongside Minato, Kushina, and their son. We will have to perform a huge funeral for all of them. What about the Uzumaki Namikaze heritage? Tsunade has kept it close like the Senju one. And she will not give it to anyone. Now, I get it. We move on to the next thing that I would like to ask. What is it now, Danzo? What did the biju say before it left or departed? Uchiha something. My clan was not involved in the attack, Danzo. Mark my words, if you try to, we all heard that, but we know for sure that Fugaku and his people are not involved. And I can vouch for that. Because somehow, in some miraculous way, the spirit of the biju talked to us. That is some bullshit, said Danzo. Call it whatever you want. I am not lying. If you don't believe me, send Inoichi into the mindscape of mine and he can check. As Danzo looked towards Inoichi, as Inoichi hesitantly looked towards Hiruzen. Go ahead, Inoichi. As Inoichi then entered the mindscape and saw through the everything. As he returned back, we see that Inoichi got up and with confidence and anger in his eyes looked toward Danzo. He is telling the truth. It was not necessary. I could tell it by his body language. I was just asking for Hokage-sama's permission because that was not necessary. Young Naruto has died, and the biju's soul somehow, before leaving his dead body, spoke to them. And it told us something disturbing. What did it tell? Can I reveal? Hokage-sama, yes. As after revealing the only confidential parts that left out Naruto, we see that everyone was quite solemn. So the biju was manipulated, and by an Uchiha nonetheless. The Uchihas are not to be trusted then, said one of the civilians as Fugaku looked worried. Not the Uchihas. No, they're not the cause of the problem. The person who is that Uchiha that is capable of strong enough to even put a genjutsu on a biju is the one we need held accountable. And I vow that we will find out who it is. I will put out the records publicly in the council so that you can see that none of the Uchihas were involved. Uchiha police force have been helping out and still is out there. It is our priority. As now we see that the meeting came to a close after that. As now we see Hiruzen and Jiraiya in the office, alongside Inoichi. You called for me, Hokage-sama. I have to tell you this. You cannot reveal this to anyone what you have seen in my mindscape, Inoichi. It puts Naruto directly in jeopardy. I know now. I can't believe it that Minato was an Uchiha as well. If Fugaku finds out about this, he will be happy and sad at the same time that he might have lost a brother as he claimed, really. Someone close to him. Now I get it why he was helping out the Uchihas to clear out the past mistakes, and was helping them clear their name in the eyes of the public and making a trustful bond between them. And with the recent events, things could take drastic change and go back even worse than before. I know. We have to help Fugaku and his clan before things go south, right? We will find a way. But the thing is that you have to know that this is a S-rank secret, right? I know, Hokage-sama. I won't tell this, not even to any single soul. Your secret is safe with me, and only me alone. Thank you, Inoichi. And there's one more thing I would like to tell you. What is it? Once Tsunade returns, we plan to make Naruto the Senju here, and not reveal his heritage even then. The Senjus have obviously absorbed the heritage of the Uzumakis and the Mikazes because they were the closest, and henceforth, Naruto will get his heritage in this way. So that is why I'm trying to tell you to be careful with this. I will, Hokage-sama. And on top of that, poor Isabu. I can't believe that he has to go through that and live with the guilt that he kills so many. I heard the stories that he is the most calmest and the reasonable bijus out there, who is willing to communicate with humans. I know. You may go now. As after he left, well, the only thing they could wish for now was Naruto grow out peacefully and calmly outside. As now we see, Naruto, thanks to Tsunade, visited a lot of villages, forming a lot of bonds and friendships while he grew up. The first village they visited was Takigakure, and Fu became a sister of a sort, who was like an annoying older sister. And moving onwards, they went towards Kumo itself, where Raikage and Tsunade held their yearly match of, well, hand grip strength, and Tsunade this time again defeated him. While doing so, we see that this time it was A and not the previous Raikage who arrived there, and after defeating him, Naruto, who was at the age of 4, and B, who was an adult, was looking at each other because Gyuki could tell and sense that there were two Biju's chakra amongst them. As B arrived near, "Yo, little one, why can my 8 smell 9 and 3 on you?" 9 and 3? You're funny, mister. As that is when we see that he brought out a fist. "Come on, don't leave a bro hanging. Ya fool." Ya fool? What does that mean? As Aiden said, "B, shut up and don't talk nonsense to the kid. Don't make him like you. Please, if you do, I'll have to break a few bones of his." "Kindly, I oblige. Please do." "Ya fool, come on, don't do me like that, big bro. I ain't doing anything to the little fool here. If anything, it's a fist bump." What does that even mean? "It means a sign of friendship, ya idiot." "Oh, okay." As Naruto fist bumped him, as that is when we see both of them arrived inside the mindscape as their eyes closed shut. As behind Naruto was Isabu, as Gyuki was standing there. "Isabu, what are you doing inside Konoha Shinobi?" "He's from Konoha but not a shinobi. And not only that, he is our new brother. Meet our youngest brother, the Ninetales, the new one." "What? You mean to say that Kurama has been absorbed by him? How is that possible? He looks so young." As that is when we see Naruto was confused. "Isabu, what is that octopus ox talking about?" "His name is Gyuki, and he's the Eight Tails, Naruto. He's like a sibling to us as well." "Really? Nice to meet you." "Yes, it is." As now we see, as B sensing something was serious, then said, "Oi kid, how about we go over there and play while the big fools talk with themselves?" "Okay." As now we see, B and Naruto went over to the side. As now we see, Yuki then asked in a lower tone, "What happened?" "From what I have heard." After explaining everything, we see that Gyuki, being the reasonable one, then said, "This is sad." How will Shikako react? That is what I'm worried about. The others will be able to understand, even if they hated somewhat Kurama because of his hard-headedness. They still loved him because he was our brother. And now that he's gone, Shikaku the youngest is the biggest troublemaker here. How are we gonna talk him through with this? We have to call for a summit of the Bijus. As B was and Naruto was called here. As Yuki then told them to do the similar hand seals as them. As after they did that, we see that Naruto and B appeared inside a new mindscape. As there were 9 circles around a U circle, and in that circle was standing Naruto himself. As Isubu was shocked. As Naruto's eyes opened, they were blue with ripples in them, as he had 9 tails behind him and fox ears as well this time around. as his eyes opened to reveal the Rinnegan, but his third eye opened, which revealed the biju's eye, the slit with redness aside from it. As Naruto had thick whisker marks and canines grown now, the rest of the bijus surrounded him as Naruto then said, "Huh? What is going on?" As that is when we see they were all looking at him with shock, as the ninth circle was erased and was combined with the center circle. What is going on? Where is Kurama? Why are we the only ones here? There is something that I would like to tell you all. This person over here, his name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze Senju, and he is the new Nine Tails and our little brother. As there was a pause and a huge silence, as the bickering began amongst them, but not before Shikaku tried to attack him. How dare you try to kill him? But not before Matatabe jumped in and bit back his hand and threw him away. Shikaku, he's just a child. Can't you see, Matatabe? He killed our brother. What? What are they talking about, Isabu? I didn't kill anyone. You didn't, Naruto. He's just talking nonsense. Shikaku, quiet yourself. But how is this child, said the Five Tails, looking towards Naruto, holding on to our father's staff? And his eyes, it resembles him. That is because, remember the father's words? The second coming of the Sage of the Sixth Path has arrived, meaning that she is close to coming to this world as well. That is correct, my children, said a deep voice, and Shikaku, calm yourself down. Kurama is here with me, as the Sage of the Sixth Path himself emerged in a bright white light, and sitting on his shoulder was a nine-tailed fox that was in a smaller state. Oi, you Baka Tanaki, listen to your father. And everyone else, I'm happy at the same time. Quite shocked to see that you would act up for me. Of course we would. Even if we hate your behavior, we know that you are our brother, Kurama. We will always stick by our family, said Gyuki. I know I could trust on you, Gyuki. And you, Baka Tanaki, you better get the facts straight now. I'm no longer the Nine Tails. He is. But still, I don't have to like that fact. You have to or you don't have to. It is up to you. But you will have to share your strength not only with your own Jinchurikis, but with him. And young Naruto, here. As the sage tapped him on the forehead, giving him his own knowledge and strength and techniques, you have to master and train with them to become a true shinobi. They will help you out in the future. And these two seals, as Naruto opened his palms to see that there was a sun and a moon seal there that disappeared, they can only be used once, so use it wisely, my child. Isabu, it is up to you to guide this child now, my son. I will, father, try my best. And as for the rest of you, especially you, Shikaku, your brother is safe with me. Please, do not cause any trouble for Naruto. He is your younger brother after all now. But, oi, Baka Tanaki, I know we can't do our banter and I'm gonna miss that as well, but still, you have to be the responsible one now. You always wanted to be a big brother, right? This is your chance. Don't mess it up. I won't. I'm sorry, father. You Baka Fox. Tanaki. As now we see, both the sage and Kurama disappeared, while the rest of the bijus were at least somewhat satisfied that he was at least with their father now, and they all looked towards the youngest of them now, with a smile on their face, as Matatabe then said while a purr escaped her lips. Well, I can't believe this, now I have two little brothers. At least one of them won't be annoying now, as Naruto chuckled. I don't know what to do with this knowledge that I have gained, said the 4-year-old. You train, kid. What else would you do? Said the Seven Tails. And we are all going to share a part of our chakra with you as well, so that you can use our strength as our father could, since you are the second sage of this world. It is up to you to make sure the peace prevails, and not only that, make sure that Kaguya Otsutsuki is sealed away forever. I can sense her power coming from up there. She is sealed on the moon. Inside of it is her prison. But it won't hold on for much longer, would it? As Isubu then said, no, Naruto. It won't. That is why we need you to train strongly. I will. As now we see, after that, Naruto and B emerged back into their own reality, as well as did the other bijus, and informed the Jinchurikis of what is going to happen soon. And they informed their Kages, as everyone's Kage believed them, because they knew if the biju was directly talking to them, this was serious. And as for Suna, not so much, because they and Gaara were not on the speaking terms. But seeing how he was an older brother now, he acted responsibly, and instead of causing trouble, he helped out Gaara and allowed him to sleep as much as he wanted to gain some strength. And even form a bond with him, because he was getting jealous that how others have formed a bond of a sort with their own Jinchuriki, and he wasn't the one going to be left behind. As now we see, time began to pass by, as from Kumo they went towards Eva, and from Eva, surprisingly, they received quite a well receival. And not only that, Tsunade helped most of them out, and Naruto also formed a lot of bonds there, especially with the old man Oniki himself, who at one point held at his father as a threat as well as an enemy, a sworn enemy. As seeing just an innocent child, even if of their enemy, they couldn't do anything because they were shinobis, not monsters. And even they decided that a punishment of a father's sins should not be given to their son. And he was an innocent child who was just playing with their own kids and forming bond. As now we see Tsunade and Oniki were speaking. Even though he is his son, I still can't believe. You have to hope for a brighter future, Oniki, and let go of the past hatred. I know it is hard. I still have a hatred of how I lost everyone and couldn't protect someone. But the time is the best healer. You have to just move on and search for the next best thing in your life. I guess you're right. I can't believe this. Me, Oniki, getting wisdom from a younger one. We are all humans and we tend to make mistakes. Sometimes we just forget that we are. I guess you're right. You know what? I'll send a approval letter to Konoha, as in the sense we will want a ceasefire and peaceful, nature amongst us. Thank you. But you have to promise me one thing. Look at my granddaughter. She seems like she likes him as an sibling of a sort, like a little annoying brother who has been annoying her and breaking her out of her own shell. Since she lost her mother, she has been raised by us, and she has toughened herself up because we wanted her to be strong. But now, I guess she's breaking out of her shell, and it's kind of surreal and bringing me happiness. But beware, a new organization is rising, and they don't seem that much peaceful. They're shinobi hunters, and if someone places a bounty on your head, you'll be in trouble, and not only you, he as well. And I'm saying only this because of him. You have to be more careful, Tsunade. I will. What is the name of this organization? Akatsuki. As at the same night, a letter was sent to Jiraiya about Akatsuki and to do some recons. Jiraiya, who had received this, was already busy and also sent a letter to his sensei. As now we see, Tsunade on the other side continued on her journey as Naruto reached at the age of 13. At the time, Naruto was quite confused. What do you mean, Kachan, we're not gonna return to Konoha? I thought that you told me that that is the age where one becomes a genin, right? Yes, Naruto, you are correct, but somehow that thing has changed, and that is because the Uchiha clan has been massacred. What? It has been done by a 15-year-old, and that is the reason why the whole village is threatened, because they don't want their children to be turned out to be monsters, and that is why the age has been increased to 15. I see, but I don't understand what is the reason for this. Neither do I. The council have decided this and overruled Hokage's orders by adding the daimyo to this. They're just scared. The civilian council is, I guess. Okay. I waited so long. 2 more years then it is. As for 2 more years, we see that Naruto went by minor villages and healed those. He even went to the land of waves where he found out Gato and helped helped out Tazuna and the others, saving their village because of his powers. There he used the Rinne Rebirth to revive those who have died, and not only that, he used Isebu's destructive bubble release and boil release to attack and defeat Gato and his enemies. And thanks Gato. Thanked Isebu, basically, and retrieved back the money that he has stolen and gave that away all to the village with a smile on his face. You did good, Naruto. So, I just got the letter, young one, said Tsunade, teasingly to Naruto. Stop saying that to me, Kachan. I'll tease you, I'm your mother. However, you don't get to boss me around, young man. Okay, what is it? We're going to go back to the village finally. Really? Yes, Naruto. So pack your things. As now we see, while canon things were already done, as Naruto has helped out those who were in canon and formed many alliances. While traveling with Tsunade, he finally at the age of 15 was able to return back to Konoha. And as soon as he did, he was sent to the Shinobi Academy class, where many of the clan head's children were waiting, and as soon as he entered, his hair and his looks caught the eyes of one Ino Yamanaka, who was once a die-hard fan of Sasuke, who became too much emo for her tasting, and she inveigled her friend that how she could stay loyal to Sasuke even after that. As Naruto, after entering, said, "Hi, my name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze Senju, and I'm going to be your new classmate. Or, your ally, I guess." Wait, hold up. We got to go through 15 years of boring Iruka-sensei classes, and you just pop out of nowhere. As Iruka with a tick mark then said, "Kiba, meet me after this test is done." Oh, okay. Alright, Naruto. Go and sit down wherever you like. As Ino then said, "This seat here is free." What? What do you mean, Ino? I'm sitting right next to you. As she slammed and threw down Shikamaru. As Shikamaru got up, troublesome blondes. As Naruto went and helped him out. There, that'll do. That was just a scratch. You didn't need to. Oh, my bad. It's because of me that you got hurt, so I had to do something. And please don't harm anyone. I don't want pretty lady like you to be, harm anyone like that again, right? As Ino blushed after hearing that as Naruto sat down next to him. After that, the class continued on as now we see that Ino and Naruto caught each other glancing at each other because, well, both of them were blushing and found each other kind of cute and attractive at the same time. As this was going on, we see that Sasuke was also gazing at Naruto, but with intense intent. As finally the test continued on, and the final test, which was the physical combat test against one of their own, well, fellow classmate, came as Sasuke Uchiha was given the choice to choose who he wanted to combat with, as he chose Naruto to test out his skills, as he was immediately defeated with a single swoop of his kick. As Naruto then stood there with a smile on his face. Your form was good, but I guess you're using the Uchiha's interceptor style. There are a few flaws if you try to copy each and every move. I can just make my moves fast that you cannot copy or even keep up with them. As Sasuke, who was on the ground, was shocked. He was Rookie of the Year. Who was this kid who was able to, with a single swoop of a kick, defeat him? And the kick he didn't even see coming. And as for the others, they were quite shocked as well. As this was going on, we see that Zetsu has seen Naruto back in the village and went back to tell this to none other than Obito himself. Obito, he has returned. Gather the Akatsuki. Soon or later, the Chunin exams will be gathering up. It is high time we return back to the village and pay them a visit. After all, they hold not only one but two bijus this time around. Isebu and the Ninetales. You're right, but the others are on the recon mission. Tell them to return because this time year around, thanks to the peaceful treaties formed by the villages with Konoha, they are all going to emerge in Konoha as one, giving us a choice and a chance to take all. As now we see, after a few months passed, of the Ganin exams, we see that the Chunin exams were right around the corner, and after the D rank and the C rank missions, the teams were chosen. All of the rookie teams were inside of this. As now we see, during this time around, Naruto has met with Ino's parents as well, as Ino has even introduced him to most of her friends, as Naruto and Ino was one thing for sure, were getting closer to one another. And in the eyes of Yamanaka, that was a good thing because they were getting closer to not only Namikaze Uzumaki but with the Senju clan as well. And as for the council, once they found out that Naruto was the Jinchuriki and he was alive and was now Tsunade's son as well, they were quite shocked, at the same time scared. Some still hold a hatred against the Three Tails, but after everything was revealed by, well, Inumichi, it was quite shocking to everyone. As Isubu himself, thanks to Naruto, spoke through to all of them, and this time around it was more than enough convincing for them to hear what was going on. And Naruto informed them of the reality of what might be happening in the future, scaring them all. Now, Danzo was on the losing end here because he, one, didn't want it Kaguya to appear and wanted to help Naruto. On the other side, he also wanted to become the Hokage, but he couldn't do anything because there was already peace and everyone has formed an alliance with Konoha. And what will he do good in being a Kage? So Danzo realized that he shouldn't crave for power any longer, since the torch has already been passed down to the next generation. And he was of the older ones. And he should respect that. As now we see, one night we see that Hiruzen was visited inside his office by Danzo. What is it that you want, Danzo? Young Naruto, he has a lot of, well, livelihood and a lot to give. He reminds me of Hashirama-sama, Tobirama-sensei, and about Minato, in a sense. If that makes sense. I guess so. He's kind of a combination of all of us Kages, right? Yes, he has a personality as such. How about we make him the next Hokage? You name him your successor again. As Hiruzen was quite shocked by this, since seeing that Danzo was quite sincere. As seeing that Hiruzen was silent, he took that as a yes and continued. It took me a lot of time to finally realize that the torch of the village has already been passed on from our generation long ago. I was just stuck back in time, thinking about power and what Konoha could do under my regime. Now that Konoha is at peace and now realizing that it is because of such kid Naruto, I see the potential in him. Potential to make the right choices, and even save those who couldn't be saved. And even rescue those who could be our enemies. So you finally see the potential in being on the good side. Yes, I will continue to operate Naruto, because someone needs to get their hands dirty to do the dirty work. But I won't oppose Naruto, and would try to help him out by hook or by crook, if possible. Thank you, Danzo. I know that you're trying to be, well, better, and it is the first step. I'm really grateful to see my old friend back once more. As Danzo, who would have turned back towards the door, finally did something that was quite out of the ordinary and of his character. He smiled, reminiscing about the old times when they were just simple and were kids and there was no power play amongst them, and were just rivals. Just that. I might have grown old, not senile, Hiruzen. I will be your rival, and always will be one step ahead of you. Whatever you say, Danzo. As now we have a time skip. As after finally 3 more months later, we see that the Kages were arriving alongside their teams of their villages. And finally, the Kage Summit was held. The Chunin exams was held, as the Akatsuki has disguised themselves amongst them. The Pain tried to use, after in the 3rd preliminary rounds of the test, the Shinrai Tensei, but it was reversed back by Naruto's jutsu, as Naruto, using his own Rinnegan, was able to defeat Pain and brought him to his knees, as Naruto then stopped and said in front of everyone, "Who are you and why are you attacking? We are the Akatsuki, and you are going to come with us alongside the rest of the bijus. Attack, everyone!" As the rest of them tried to attack, but Naruto summoned his clones and used the force field thanks to his Rinnegan to surround and protect everyone. As for the other Jinchurikis, they also emerged there, as now they were all perfect Jinchurikis in a sense. As we see, they were standing behind Naruto. "You think we'll go down without a fight?" "They are all right," said Gaara. We are all in this together. And young Naruto. Aren't you younger than me? You're annoying, you know that? You've broke my flow. As Naruto chuckled, I'm sorry about that. Silence! You think this is funny? We are here to defeat you once and for all, and take you with us whether you like it or not. As Naruto and the Akatsuki, alongside the biju Jinchurikis, battled, and this time it was Naruto and the other nine-tailed Jinchurikis that won. And as for the Akatsuki, they were defeated. But not before Zetsu sacrificed the Akatsuki members and himself to summon Kaguya there as a last source of efforts. As the Akatsuki members were massacred, we see that emerging from their blood circle was none other than Kaguya. As Naruto then said, all of you, go into the force field. Leave this to me. Since you have the same chakra as my son, please, ma'am, I don't want any trouble, and neither do these people. But they possess something of mine, and I am here to take it back, whether they like it or not, and you are standing in my way, she said, activating her Byakugan as Naruto was forced to his knees. As Isubu then said, Naruto, you have to tap into your chakra. As sensing that, Naruto tried his best, and Isubu and his chakra activated. As Naruto was covered in a red chakra, as his third eye opened with Rinnegan. In the middle of his forehead, that was a slit, and Isubu's powers were also activated as a blue chakra surrounding the red chakra was activated. And the whole council as well as the gathering could only see two blurs fighting and combating each other, as it took them some time, but in the end we see Naruto and Kaguya were both panting heavily. You might be a full Otsutsuki and you might be able to level my strength, but remember, me and my clan will always topple you. Please, I don't wish for any trouble. If anything, I would rather find a way for peace. You kind of remind me of my oldest. You always was the optimistic, looking for good, even the bad. I was taught by your son. He gave me his knowledge. I know that they broke your heart because you are their mother and they didn't stood by you. But please, think in the form of sense of a mother, not as the rabbit goddess. There are many mothers here who also have their children, and they're all gonna die. You as a mother would want that? As Kaguya looked down, no. As she, using her powers, revived even the Akatsuki member and her own son Zetsu. Come on, son, we are leaving, said Kaguya. As Zetsu was quite surprised, but obliged. And you all, it was a plan to free me. The Moon Eye plan is nothing more than demise of the whole elemental nation. Don't follow it any longer. You young men have gave me a lot to think about now. And a lot to feel guilty about. You don't need to feel guilty about anything. Your sons lived a happy and fulfilling life. I might even dare say that some of our clans that have continued down are directly connected to them. Like mine and the Uchihas. I can see that. And I can also see that there are Yugas who have Byakugan of ours. Not even up to par with mine, but still. As Yugas gulped, so I see Homura and Hagoromo have legacy here. And in some way you are connected to me. I'll be happy, and I promise that my clan won't bother you, or your world, Naruto, Uzumaki, Namikaze, Senju. Thank you. Thank you very much, Kaguya-sama. As after their intense battle and standoff, thanks to Naruto's talk no jutsu, Naruto was able to talk her down and she was able to turn back and retrieve back to the sky, disappearing with her son. And as for the Akatsuki members, some of them who wanted war were captured while the others willingly gave themselves up, knowing that they were following none other than a madman's wishes. As after everything was settled, we see that Naruto and Ino finally had enough time for themselves, as finally they tied the knot at the age of 19, being the first one of their group to marry. And as for Sasuke Uchiha, he also realized now that his brother killed the whole clan because the clan was planning a coup, while Hiruzen was trying his best to suppress the coup and try another way around it. There was none. As Naruto, sensing this, thanks to his jutsu, revived the whole Uchiha clan, and with the talk no jutsu was able to talk a peace between the village and the Uchihas, bringing back a lost strength to the whole village once more. As for his own parents, he could, but he didn't want it to. because he already had a mother, and Tsunade and Jiraiya also didn't want him to bring them back. They should just rest because they have suffered enough, and they would be proud of Naruto being able to watch over him and his life like this, as Naruto was going to welcome his son soon now, after many years of peace being still preserved. Kaguya has fulfilled her promise and has been going on, as we see that the whole world was still protected, and no Suzuki after her has visited here. And as for Mizugakure, Naruto fulfilled his promise and visited there and let his friend talk, as finally the village was able to realize what happened, and they were happy that their long lost Isubu was not a tyrant and a mad monster. And Mei Terumi, who was the new Mizukage, was pleased that it was under the hands of the next sage of the sixth path, because that was confirmed by Kaguya herself in front of all the Kages and everyone surrounding them. And the biju still confirmed that he was in fact the second coming of the sage of the sixth path. And his children will carry out his legacy and the legacy of Kaguya herself, live through all of them. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this movie off, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel, as this is Apollo Uchiha, and I'm signing off for the day. Peace!